Hi, everyone. My name is Marie, and I'm your host here on the Rambling Ree podcast. I just call it Ree because it's an affinity, and you'll come to learn more if you stay tuned. So basically, hey, it's January 2025. I don't know when we got here, but we got here. They say time is a figment of the imagination. No, it really is because I could have swore, even if I say 10 years ago, I'm thinking the 90s. So, how it is 2025, I'm shocked. So, I hope your new year is off to a great start. Fresh new beginnings, new outlooks, new patterns, new goals. My first episode being right after the holidays, it's a little bit, backwards, okay? But it's been heavy on my mind because just went through it. And just talking with peers and things, about holiday plans and stuff, I realized that those of us who are on this grief journey, and is it even a journey? Is there a destination? Gotta find a different phrase for that. But, if you're anywhere in this grief right? Your new normal for a holiday season could be very much different than what it's been before you got lost. Let's just think back to kids and the magic of Christmas and Santa and just the magic of the whole holidays, and you're out of school and you're lit because you don't have responsibilities, in a perfect world. So let's just say that was your now afterwards it's just the date is coming. People, other people around you probably getting more excited and making these plans, and it's getting festive, and you're just shrinking because it's here we are again, another whatever, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever it is you're celebrating. And it doesn't even just have to be holiday. It could be any type of memorial, like Father's Day, Mother's Day, Grandparents' Day, whatever special day that has all these emotions associated with it is different now. The before and after, right? I feel that one major factor for me in my grief is that it feels more intense around those monumental occasions, those memorial dates. The grief feels heavier because of the importance of that day to you or your loved one or whatever the connection is with this day. Me personally, when those moments are coming, that's when I do most of my work. I put so much on my plate. I try to not think about it. I try to avoid it. I think I'm doing something, but really I'm not. I'm running from my feelings and my emotions. A lot of that is not so much I can't take it, I can't deal, but it's people around me just, it's ooh, gonna be a little, because this day's coming up. Gotta be careful, walking on a landmine. And then in the next breath, it's oh no, I get it, I do, I understand. This is my number one pet peeve. Don't ask a question you don't want the answer to. So, hey, how are you doing? Pause. Do you really want to know? Or is this just this conversational niceties that you feel like you got to say that to me? Because depending on the day, I'm going to tell you how I'm really feeling. We can have a conversation about it, or it's going to get weird because that's not really what you wanted. Now I'm weird. No, if I don't have a problem with weird to me. When I say weird, that is no negative connotation of that. Weird, nerd. I love it. Okay, so you think I'm smart? You think I'm brilliant? Okay, so I'm weird because I'm different. but you're the same as the rest of them. You know? Anyway, that's a tangent for another day. Around the memorials, the grief is heavier, right? And so people are making all these plans, and it's only natural that in conversation it's going to come up, and it's going to come to you like, hey, so what's your plan? Any plans? What are you doing for Christmas, let's just say? Maybe you are doing something, maybe you're not. Don't let other people's expectations be your compass to what you end up doing. You know what you feel like doing. Internally, you've already known. You've known since the last year, or you've known since the day was coming that you've already been plucking away in your head. And you can feel it in your body, like you just know. Sometimes maybe you will come around, go Christmas caroling with you, ice skating, whatever you want to do. But then, respectfully, maybe sometimes you don't. Maybe you do just want to stay in for the weekend, just watch movies, just stay in your bed, look at photo album. Who knows who and who really cares? It's not no one else's business. That's the thing about it. There is no right or wrong way to feel your emotions, right? But for those on the outside looking in, there is a right or wrong way on how you treat and approach the people who are dealing with the emotion. My emotions is never wrong. However I'm feeling is never wrong. But you trying to force a specific response or reaction from me is cringy, if I say the least. My logic, okay, let's just say, on all the rest of the days of the year, do you not think I'm grieving? Do you not think I think about my loved one numerous times a day? I see something, flashback trigger, flashback trigger, flashback trigger. Do you think that's only on special occasions? Because it's not. Cute New York. Because it's not, okay? And for the people who may be listening because they want to understand, right? They're not going through it, but they want to be more helpful to the person who is around them, the people who are. First of all, thank you for wanting to know how you can be helpful. But please know, like I already said from the top, there's no right or wrong way. So that doesn't mean that what I say goes and applies for everybody. No, it doesn't. I'm a different type of person. I take information differently. But what I'm learning through my therapy, through journaling, through finding myself, is I need the information. I just need you to talk to me and give me the details. I don't need you to make the decision for me. So that's a tangent. For the person who's just asking because they want to let their friend or family member, let them know that they're there, that's really all you have to say. Hey, this is what we're doing. You know, come if you want. It's no pressure. The last thing you probably want to do and the last thing that they need is more pressure. It's so much pressure and guilt, survivor remorse, all these things. The last thing that they really need is to feel like now they have to come show up to your festivity, be cool and calm and collected, and put on this brave face when on the inside, they may be checked out. They may be on the verge of tears if they hear one song, if they smell one scent, if they hear you say, oh, hey, Dad. Oh, hey, Grandpa, I love you. Grandpa, go sit down. That's crazy. Like, you don't know. So respect what your friend or your family member, respect the answer that they're giving you. Because as much as, include them in your plans, or just make sure they're not alone, or whatever your reasoning is, please know that some of us, this day has been coming closer and closer and closer since it last passed, if the person, was there. It's been just ticking away. It's getting closer. And sometimes the person who's grieving, they have to build up this courage. They have to do so much. They have to put on this brave face just to come out on a normal day. Just to go run to Target, run to the Dollar Tree, run to go get your car washed, run to go to work. They have to build it up. So just maybe for that day, they don't want to do all that. They just want to be in the memory and be in the emotion and let it flow however it goes. You, from the outside looking in, just give them the grace to do that. Something that I like to do when holiday season is coming, because as we know, for most of us, holiday season is around the winter time, fall time, shorter days, colder days, darker days. I hate to say, but it's just a more depressing time of year. Like you have to look harder for like the good and the happy and the light and the bright, right? For some people who may already be experiencing depression in general, then you have seasonal depression, and now you have holiday season sprinkled on top of it. It's like, Lord, like this is a lot. This is a lot. Something that actually really does help me a lot is to put things on a calendar to look forward to. Because when I used to have a calendar and it would just be bills, due dates, doctor appointment, dinners, But it was nothing fun on there. When I would start putting little things to look forward to that are fun, that are interesting, and it doesn't mean it's expensive. We're not talking about money here. It's whatever's within your budget, whatever you like to do. There's no constraints. Sometimes you just have to find the strength for your future self to do things now so that when that time comes and we're in November and December and you don't want to get out the bed maybe, or you don't want to get dressed, and you are missing your person more, maybe you are struggling to just get out the house and do something, to know that. So it's coming from the people pleaser in me, that if I put something on my calendar, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to do it. Especially if I paid for it, I'm going to do it. So it's like, lean into that a little bit, because it's for you, right? The people you're pleasing is you, ultimately. Yeah, you may have invited your friends, or your friends may have invited you, but at the end of the day, you will feel so much better, just to have those little like pockets of fun sprinkled in this season that you may be dreading the most. You will be so glad that you have that. But the thing is, the external people, they can't force you. They shouldn't be dragging you anywhere. Like, you need to find the will from within. Because honestly, another thing that death has taught me, and it's like, this until you know this. And that's the fact of death is pretty permanent. And let's not get into, we're not going to get into spirit realms and all these things right now. What you believe, what you think is fact and fiction, that is cool. I'm just talking about scientifically. You don't have no blood pumping, your brain, your heart stop working, and you're dead. That is a pretty permanent situation. Now, energy and stuff, this is totally different. Stick with me. But, so yeah, you just want to be careful of the pressures you may feel, your external pressures from friends and family to like, just come out, join us. Don't stay in there all cooped up. Get out, get back to normal. Besides the fact it is offensive, not even kind of like that's offensive. Little do you know, this is the new normal. Because death is so permanent, there's literally, come on, stick with me all scientifically, there's literally nothing I can do to bring my person back. And you're telling me to just act like it never happened. When you're saying, oh, get back to normal, That's what you want me to forget about that? Because I can't not be able to do that. So I'm giving grace to the people who say that, and just, I'll just assume it's ignorance on their part because they're not thinking. First of all, you ain't thinking about how I'm thinking about it, right? Like, what? Do you know what a life-changing event is? You know, that's why it's called life-changing. Because your life has changed. This is the new normal. Like, you see a map, and if you take this road, now you're going over here. You take this road, you're going. There's no U-turns. Like, just going a different path now. So I'll give them grace. Hope, it's coming from a place of love and kindness and just concern, right? You know who's talking to you better than I do. I'm just speaking from my personal experience and through my own lens, which is very important. So let me just note that. Like, what works for me isn't going to work for you. Because why? Because it's no right or wrong answer. And that we all have to figure it out. And so my hope for what you gain from this podcast is just a little insight or maybe a little different viewpoint. Like, maybe I'll say something that'll spur something in you to see something differently that will help you not to feel like you're alone in this, not to feel like you're stuck in a rut, not to feel like you're just going to stay here and be stagnant in this place, because I promise you, you won't. Only if you take those steps forward and you pick up pieces and build this new you, because you're not going to be the same you. That's the first thing you have to acknowledge. It can never be the same. And you have to work on being okay with that, but also knowing that you can make it better. So yeah, just don't let people bully you into giving them an answer because they don't think it's normal that you don't want to hang out, or that you don't want to go there, or you do just want to stay home and watch movies, or you do just want to cuddle with the dog. Like, aside of, a couple things, it's not going to be okay. Because what I found is that in most instances, if I say, like, no, I'm just going to stay home, they don't ask stay home and do what? Because it's already assumed and presumed that I'm going to be, like, curled up in a ball and rocking back and forth. Like, no, that's with love, It's not what I'm going to be doing. But it's like, they don't even want to ask because me personally, I don't know, but I'm going to assume, I don't know, right? But I'm going to assume that it makes them uncomfortable because death is an uncomfortable topic. Grieving is an uncomfortable topic. And especially if they're not at the same stage as you, or if they don't even have the loss, if it's not a shared loss, they can't relate. And another pet peeve of mine, please stop trying to be so relatable. It's okay that we have our own individual experiences and that we live this individual life of ours. It doesn't have to be a collective thing all the time. So if somebody wants to share something with you, could they maybe possibly just share that and you not feel like you have to get it? Like, you get it. You don't have to get it. Sometimes people just want to share. They just want to get something off their chest. And if you're their friend, their lover, their family, whatever, someone close enough to them that they want to share this with, could you just let them, maybe? And I'm talking about the people who, I get it, and like switch topic. Not the people who, I get it, and we'll delve into this a little more. Oh, because now I know, actually, you do get it. Especially when there's another person who's dealt with a loss or something. You can kind of tell in how people view the world after such devastation, is different than a person who never really been through that kind of a thing, right? After the devastation, you just know there's a totality in things. You know that things do come to an end. You know that no one is here forever and that life is short. To that point, in my personal experience, it's usually those who lack emotional awareness or emotional intelligence. They're usually the ones who just kind of like, because when you like okay and me and got it, you're kind of like, you might as well be because oh, you don't want to hear about it. Oh, okay. And I'll never share it with you. If you make me feel like you don't want to hear what I have to say, I'm never going to say anything to you. That's just a me thing. I'm healing, y'all. I'm not healed. Okay? I'm sure there's a better response to that. But I gotta wait on that because I'm doing other things. My thing is, I'm not going to force my feelings onto you because they're my feelings. I don't expect you to get them. So when you say you get it, how do you get it? Huh? Like, what are we talking about? When people are inviting you out on these holidays or memorial occasions, anniversaries, they may not be considering that the last thing you want to do is to be in a room in a group full of people that's relatively happy. It's cool, it's a vibe. But you just might not have the energy for that. Personally, I'm so drained. When I know these certain dates are coming, it's just like, But I do it to myself. Like I said, grinding, like I'm doing the most. I do the most right before a couple days of the year when I know it's coming. So like, yeah, I'm still figuring things out too. But I know that about myself. And I know that I purposely work myself harder around those occasions and times so I don't have to feel it so intensely, so that my mind does have something else to worry about, you know, because I worry about that all the time. So this day, it's magnified, but there's never a moment of like, I didn't think about that today. Yeah, that would be a lie. And that's another thing. Don't lie to yourself. But as we wrap up here, just know that you telling people no thanks, like I'm good, I'm gonna sit that one out, is genuinely okay. And you don't need anyone's permission to approve that. And you know that little saying, those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter? Yeah, babe. Because some people, they're going to get it or they're not. It's not for you to teach people, especially adults. For the children who may be wondering, oh, why are you not going to come? Da, da, da. You know, you may have to beat around the bush a little bit for them. Decide what's appropriate or not in every situation, right? But for me, an adult talking to another adult, for one, I'm not going to force you to understand my feelings. And two, definitely don't need you to validate them. So at the end of the day, me saying no thanks, I'm going to stay home, I already know what mind state I'm in. I'm having enough emotional intelligence for both of us that I'm going to sit this one out. I'm going to stay home or do whatever. I'm not going to come in the group of groups and like put on. I don't want to put on today. Of all the things I could do today, that is not what I want to do. So let me tell you no and let you respect that's my decision and not try to guilt trip me, you know. I won't even get into what that reminds me of, but No means no, people, in all instances. The last thing I'll talk about, grieving has taught me you must have boundaries for yourself. What I've learned through my grief journey is that I lacked a lot of boundaries, and now maybe they there and they up. And it's like, especially when it comes around to that type of thing where anything about my loved one, if that's a deal with her, when it comes to certain things, it's not up for discussion. Like, it ain't no, oh, maybe you shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's not up for debate. Like, I don't want to do it, and I'm not going to do it. That's just that. Through the grief, I've learned that I have to respect my own boundaries, and that what's good for me may not be what's good for everybody else. But that's okay. If I'm not harming myself or others, let me do me. And you, outsider, you have to be okay with, this is the new me, this is a boundary, and let that be that. Because at this point, we're not living to please people, because we're learning life is short. Do what you want to do at the end of the day. Do the good things. So as we come to a close on this, I just want to say that you don't need permission from anyone else. Just give that permission to yourself. Know that whatever you want to do, whatever you need to do, whatever you don't want to do, it's okay. If you're okay with it, everyone has to respect it. And if they don't respect it, you go from there. Topic for another discussion. Redefine these holidays, redefine these moments, redefine, these traditions. Or maybe this is just a one-off year. Maybe this year, okay, just don't feel like doing that. Sit this one out. But next year, we can go back to it, And you don't have to know right now. You can change your mind. Things are flexible. At the end of the day, if you do decide, you do want to go out, it will be a good time for you. Or you are having fun. You're doing this thing. You're at a hot cocoa tour, honey, because I was. And you have some fun while you're doing it. You're smiling while you're doing it. You're having a great time. That's okay too. You don't have to have guilt. It's okay. I'm going to sign off here. And I hope that you all enjoyed what you heard. You found something insightful, or maybe something you could use. And on that note, that's the end of our first episode. Talk to you next time.